back with Let's Talk Autism, and we have a special guest with us in the studio, Richard Hamilton. Welcome, Richard.
Thanks, Nancy.
Now, you're CEO of a biotechnology company, or actually, is that what?
Yeah, biotech company. It's a
Right.
it's a raw startup.
Right.
And,
So
we're just
so
getting
that's what
started.
you do with your professional life.
Correct.
We're here to talk to you about a really inspirational program that you created that is bringing a lot of joy, and not to mention good physical exercise, to kids with delays, disabilities, a lot of them with autism. It's based here in California at Agoura High School in Agoura Hills, California. And you really this was your baby. And tell us, first of all, how you came up with the Agoura Stingrays, and then we'll talk about the model. What inspired you?
Yeah, it was so my eureka moment, if you will, was I'm a guy, I like sports, and so I was watching ESPN one afternoon, and ESPN has a number of great little short films that they do. They have a 30 by 30 series that's very good, and they had a short film on a kid named Mikey Brannigan. And if you've never heard of Mikey Brannigan, you should Google ESPN and Mikey Brannigan and watch the video. But Mikey is, I think, one of about 8 or 9 teenagers now who has ever run a sub 4-minute mile, which is like the holy grail of running. And so to be able to do that as a teenager is astonishing. Mikey won the gold medal in the Paralympic Games with a time that would have won him the silver medal at the Rio Olympics. And Mikey competed in the Paralympic Games because Mikey Brannigan has autism. And so the video goes through it, and it shows Mikey's journey into running. And it was because there was a Special Olympics running program that his parents were able to enroll him in that he found this outlet for running. And we can all be inspired by what that did for Mikey as an athlete. But I think also what it did for Mikey as a person, because it opened a doorway to socialization with the other track team members and with other kids his own age. And there's a clip in the video where Mikey was elected king of his prom.
Right.
And it brought a tear to my eye.
Right.
And so I thought about that, and I have a son who plays water polo for Agoura, and I thought to myself, maybe we could get something like this going at Agoura, where we'll utilize the water polo team as teammates, if you will,
Right.
as
We got
one-on-one,
got a photo up there behind you.
peer-to-peer
Yeah.
instruction. Because honestly, I don't think we're going to find the next Michael Phelps. That's not what we're looking for. But what we are doing is providing an outlet, not only for the exercise, but for socialization of special needs kids with peers their own age, and vice versa.
Right. So we have some pictures here. Look there. It's so cute.
Amazing.
Just adorable. There's one of the water polo players. Here's the whole group. Look how proud they are. They and what Agoura High water polo team just isn't any water polo team. They're exceptional, right?
They're exceptional. I think I can safely say it's one of the most successful athletic programs in the school district. I think I can go so far as to say they're one of the better water polo teams in the state.
Right.
Maybe not the best.
Right.
Yeah,
But one of the best.
They're getting there. They've won numerous championships, et cetera. And well, you've seen the kids.
Yes.
They're fit.
They're incredibly fit. I mean, those
incredibly-
bodies are amazing. I've never seen anything
And
like
so
it.
they're in the pool 6 days a
Okay.
week with workouts. If I told you what they did, you would
I've
not
heard.
believe me.
I've heard stories of this.
So I'm really proud of these kids, for them to be in the pool 6 days a week and then come in for the 7th day.
Right.
The 1 day a week they wouldn't normally spend in the pool, they spend in the pool, working with the special needs kids.
And what
to
are
swim.
some of the things they've gotten out of it?
Well, they get the socialization aspect as well. They come to the realization that, hey, what do you know? Special needs kids are kids just like anybody else.
Right.
And I think they develop a sense of satisfaction for doing this, and they develop a level of comfort
Right.
in doing it. What I've told them, a lot of these kids, they want to go on and play, Division I water polo, right? For UCLA and Harvard and Princeton, et cetera, et cetera. And so I've told them, at the very highest levels of athleticism, guys, talent sets the floor, character sets the ceiling. And so I always thank them for having the character to get out there on that 7th day and get back in the pool and participate in the program.
Yeah, but that kind of character comes from the top down. I think the question that everybody who's watching this is, how do we clone you? Right? Because, you're a busy businessman. You have 3 children, 4 children?
I have 4 kids. Yeah.
4 kids.
We think we know what's causing it.
and you take the time to be there. You take the time to put your energy into this, and that sets an example for everyone. You're the kind of leader that we need to have, and to set that example for these young people, that these young men and women that are going to get in the pool with them are just people. What an amazing thing. But this, this is a program that's a little bit different. Talk to us a little bit about how this differs from your typical Special Olympics.
Well, I think for most special needs or Special Olympic type programs, there'll be a coach and several, athletes, and then, they're going to get instruction, and then they're going to have a practice, and whether it's running or swimming or whatever it is, a coach runs a practice. We have a coach as well, David Sparks, and
yes,
you know
David's
David. And
wonderful,
David is
talented.
David is an Agoura High School graduate who's now getting his master's degree in special education at Cal Lutheran, who also happens to have been a water polo player.
Right.
And so, David, there is swimming coaching, but what we did was we took the volunteers and we assigned volunteers to athletes for the duration of the program. So you're with the same volunteer athlete pair for the whole 10 weeks of the session, however long the session is. There are varying lengths depending on the season. And so you create, I don't know, we'll go as far as to call it a pair bonding, but a relationship that says, hey, Wyatt, we're going to swimming today. Luke's going to be there. Let's get ready. And so that's what we're trying to build, is that socialization, that degree of confidence, comfort, familiarity, whatever you want to call it, between the two of them. And that's kind of, for me, the magic spark of this program. That's what sets it aside.
And then that person, that peer mentor, is also somebody that they're going to school with, correct? That's on the campus, or sometimes maybe or maybe not.
Well, I think for the kids who attend Agoura High School, and a lot of them do,
right.
They're going to see them on campus.
Right. And we talked a little bit about what that does for their self-esteem. You were saying.
Yeah, I think it's great
affected.
to be able to, if you take some of these special needs kids and you just throw them out in the general population in the cafeteria, I think what's going to happen, they're going to segregate into a corner by themselves and have their own little clique. I think once we have the Stingrays program, then they can breed familiarity, if you will, with some of these water polo kids, and then it's a fist bump in the hallway or just a hello or whatever. But it teaches you how to interact with your peers.
Well, and it also reduces bullying. Let's be honest. When the cool kids have a relationship with you, you are not an isolated person on the outside that's fodder for bullying.
Yeah,
right.
And it also, I think, educates other students on the value of being compassionate and doing work like this. Because if they see that the cool kids that are on the water polo team are giving up their time on a Sunday to help these kids, it's something like then they might say, well, this is something we should do.
Yeah, amazing.
We'll see.
So we can't clone you, but how can we help you to expand this program? What are the plans for this program?
Well, right now we've only had one good session under our belt. We're going to start up on February 5th. We just launched the website.
And tell us what the website is in case people are interested.
What is it? Agoura Stingrays.
Okay, we've got it up.
Agoura Stingrays.
Samantha put it up.
There it is. And I'm about to start going out talking to some local philanthropies to support the program. What we need to do is to be able to expand it. We want to expand it to other age groups, number one. We'd like to be able to export the program to other schools. So there's an opportunity to do that. And at some point, we need to upgrade our facility, because right now we're relegated to Sunday afternoons, because frankly that's the only time the pool is available. So when by the time you put the boys water polo team and the swim team and the water polo team, there's no availability of the facilities and whatnot. So that's a longer term goal for us. So immediate goals: expand the program to other age groups. And expand it to other locations as well.
Wonderful.
Is it under the aegis of Special Olympics or not?
So what happened? The way it works is Special Olympics swim season is the spring. So we will be under the aegis of Special Olympics for the spring session. We'll go compete in Special Olympic events, etc. The other sessions will be a little bit more on our own because there are no competitions.
Right.
But we'll still use all the Special Olympics medical release forms and liability release
Right.
forms and guidelines and coaching criteria. Both David and I are trained now as Special Olympics coaches.
Okay.
The volunteers go through their own training. So we'll continue to use that model.
Right.
It's just officially it's not the Special Olympics.
Just for
other than
people
spring.
out there listening today that might be interested in starting up their own, program like this.
Right.
Just wanted to give that, talk a little bit about that because they might be inspired. Would you be willing to give advice to someone?
Sure.
Should they contact you through the website?
They can contact us through the website, or frankly, Special Olympics is fantastic in terms of your ability to go there, log on and get information. And a lot of their training, at least the initial training, is online.
Right.
So you can do a lot of the initial training online. And really kind of get started. And then I believe it's actually next Saturday, David and I are headed up to Santa Clarita, and we'll spend a day on coach training and as well as sport-specific training.
Right, okay.
And so we move forward that way. So that's how to get started.
And now for people who are in the area who hear this and say, okay, I want to be a part of this, is there a registration process? Is there a cost? What do they need to know?
So for right now, the something called the Agoura Aquatic Foundation is supporting the program. So the cost to participants is zero. It's free.
Amazing.
Volunteers we're all volunteering our time. And so you can go to the website. There's an email address. It's agourastingrays@gmail.com. Send an email, say, hey, I'm interested in participating. I check that website, not every day, but every few days. And we'll get back to you and we'll let you know the dates and the times. There's forms that you can download, the medical release forms and whatnot, which have to be filled out in advance, by the way.
Right.
And then just come on by and participate.
Amazing.
And so we've talked about what the kids have gotten out of it. What have you gotten out of it starting this program up?
Well, it's an inspiration, right? It really is. And you see how much the athletes enjoy it, how much our volunteers enjoy it, and it makes you feel good. And my life is about making myself feel good. And so.
Well, we thank you for all your service, and we want to thank all your volunteers. Please tell them how much it means to all of us, how much we appreciate it.
Wyatt just loves the program. He really does. He's just blossomed there. So
it's an amazing
hopefully
thing.
It's something that if you're in the area, you can take advantage of, or maybe something that you might want to start in your own neighborhood.
We always talk about the power of one. Here is one gentleman who is making a huge difference. And in a lot of different lives. I mean, I think about the young people that have been volunteers and what they will go on to do because they've been so inspired.
Well, one of the best signs was some of the kids who are seniors. They're graduating. Their water polo career is, at least their high school water polo career, is effectively over with.
Right.
You would expect them to have, they've been accepted to college. You would expect them to have, a pretty good case of senioritis.
Right.
They're coming back as volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're coming back on Sunday to volunteer.
Clearly you're doing something right, sir.